What's going on, guys? Josh from SoccerReviewsForYou.com bringing you a video today to talk about and show you guys something that I've been observing basically for the entirety of the summer in regards to the potential of a low-cut Nike Mercurial Superfly 5 releasing to the public. The easiest way for me to explain this to you guys is to simply show you. So let's actually head over to the SR4U boot room, which some of you guys may have not seen before. It's just outside my office, which you see in all my videos. Here's the boot room though, a little bit different, lots and lots of shoes. Too many, to be completely honest with you guys. But the thing that I've noticed is that Nike all of a sudden started adding DF to the description on the box for the Nike Mercurial Superfly 5. So you can see it says Mercurial Superfly V, which is Roman numerals for 5, FG, which is firm ground, and then DF, which stands for the mid-cut collar, dynamic fit. And the first one to get this was actually this colorway right here, racer pink, black, and white. This was the Motion Blur Pack colorway, and every single Superfly 5 release since then, which you can see I have all in a row, deep royal blue chrome, that's Time to Shine. You have the laser orange right here, that is Lock In, Let Loose. You have the black, white, dark gray, so that's the Pitch Dark pack. And you can see Light Armory, that is the latest one that just came out, Rising Fast. Here's the Academy pack, and then here's a women's colorway. And you can see that all of these have the DF added to the description, whereas every single other one, all of the older colorways, which I have most of them here, not all of them. Here's a CR7, just says CR7. Here's a regular one, just says Superfly 5. They don't add the DF. Here's one that says TC, that's a TechCraft model. Here's a special edition colorway, just says SE. But you can see none of them say DF. The only ones that have that are the latest colorways, and the only other time we see that specified is in the case of the Hypervenom Phantom 3, which of course has a DF version and a low-cut version. So here is the DF model, which I'll open up the box. You can see that is in fact a mid-cut Hypervenom Phantom 3, and then on the low-cut one, they basically just dropped the specification. So it just says Hypervenom Phantom 3 versus Hypervenom Phantom 3 DF, like you see right there. And when you open up the box, you will clearly see that these are Hypervenom Phantom 3 lows. Very, very interesting. So maybe they're just adding that specification for the Superfly. What about the Obra 2? Maybe they just want to add the DF as a more descriptive element. Well, every single colorway of the Obra 2, doesn't matter if it's newer or older, simply just says Nike Magista Obra 2. They have never added the DF. So why have they added the DF to the Superfly? I think it's possible that we might be getting a low-cut version. Now keep in mind that the Motion Blur Pack colorway, which is the first one to add the DF into the description, that came out in like April or May. So it's been a little while. They're still adding the DF only on the Superflies, not on the Obras. So there is potential that this is just nothing at all. They're just adding a more descriptive element on the box itself. But the fact that we do have a Hypervenom Phantom 3 in a DF and a low-cut version now, and the low-cut version has done pretty well for them. I'm not sure if they're planning on introducing a brand new Superfly, probably at least for another year. So the possibility of them adding a low-cut variation is definitely very, very strong. I would say a possibility for sure. Don't know that it is 100% going to happen, but if it did happen, I think that would be very, very cool. I know a lot of you guys agree with me that the low-cut versions of the shoes are just a little bit more comfortable out of the box. I know there are plenty of people, especially the younger generation, that really do have a preference for mid-cut stuff, but for me personally, I just like the familiarity in the way that a low-cut shoe fits versus a mid-cut shoe. If we're talking about the Phantom 3, I much prefer the lower cut version. And the fact that you are talking about a Mercurial Superfly, where really the main goal, or one of the main goals for a Mercurial model, in my opinion, is to be as light as possible. So removing the collar and making it lighter in general just makes a lot of sense. Plus the price would end up going down a little bit, kind of like what we see with the Phantom 3 DF at $300, and then the low-cut version at $250. You save $50 and you get just as good a shoe, if not better, depending on what your opinion is on low cut versus mid cut. I think it's also worth noting that even though they started putting the DF specification going back to the Motion Blur Pack in April or May, it's been a little while. It seems like they would have released it by now, but you also have to take into consideration that these shoes are produced well in advance of the actual release date, generally 6 to 9 months in advance, especially when it is a current model like we have right now in the case of a Superfly 5. So the fact that it hasn't come out yet doesn't mean that it's never going to happen, but if it's going to happen, it would have to happen very, very soon for any of this to make any sense at all. Again, at this point, it is just a theory, but if it did happen, I think that would be very, very cool, and it would attract potentially a lot more buyers to the Superfly. If you look at how the Hypervenom Phantom 3 is structured, where you have $300 for the mid-cut and then $250 for the low-cut, with the Mercurial line right now, you have the Superfly 5 in one variation at $300, and then the next lowest price point is going to be the Vapor 11, which is also a top-end model at $230, but if they were to offer a low-cut Superfly at $250, I think a lot more people would be willing to pay the extra $20 over the Vapor to get a low-cut version of the Superfly. That's kind of just the way that I look at it. I think it could potentially be a very beneficial thing for Nike if they were to release a low-cut Superfly, but let me know your thoughts on this down below in the comments. Anyways, guys, that is it for me and my theory. Let me know what you guys think down below in the comments. I genuinely think that this is a strong possibility, but everyone's going to have their own opinion. Anyways, if you do have any questions for me, as always, leave them down below in the comments, and I'll do my best to get an answer out to you as soon as I possibly can. If you guys did enjoy this video, found it helpful, informative, or at the very least interesting, be sure to support it with a like. That would be awesome. Subscribe if you haven't already for daily videos on all the latest and greatest soccer gear. You can find all my social media information linked down below in the description as well. And other than that, guys, hope you enjoyed today's video, and as always, thanks for watching.